I'm sure that AJ Brown has already spoken to him. I know that Saquon Barkley has already talked about a meeting with Mannion and being excited about the changes that are going to happen with him as the new offensive coordinator. A lot of Nick Sirianni's interview with us was spent talking about Mannion, the process that went into it. He said they interviewed 17 guys formally for the role. 7 made it to a second interview, with Sean ultimately kind of winning out. He did say that he went into the interview probably thinking he wanted a veteran play caller, which would suggest Mike McDaniel and Brian Daboll. He did say he went in most interested in the Shanahan-McVay scheme, which would suggest that McDaniel was the number one guy. That kind of backs up the reporting that I had done, that those were the top 2 guys and that McDaniel was probably number 1, Daboll number 2. They moved off and wanted to explore other opportunities. That doesn't necessarily say the Eagles missed out on these guys, but to some extent, they didn't get their top guys. Okay, which is fine. I don't want to make too much of that. And then Nick said, as the process went on, he realized, the scheme was great, but, it was Sean who kind of just stood out. And they found out about Sean because the more they talked to Howie Roseman talked about this, the more they talked to people around the league. This was a guy that that a lot of teams had earmarked as being a potential future offensive coordinator, future head coach. It reminds me of what happened when the Eagles, when they hired Nick Sirianni, right? They went into that interview process with like clear guys that they thought that they wanted. They couldn't get them to some extent, or they moved off of them. And then they went into another round of interviews, and Nick Sirianni ended up being the guy that they end up figuring out, okay, we can get this guy. We like him. He has a lot of the traits that we want. And that's turned out to be pretty good. So I felt there were similarities there in that regard. In terms of the scheme, which I think is the bigger question, it's like, okay, how much of this will be the Shanahan-McVay scheme? How much will be a carryover? How involved will Nick Sirianni be involved? What were your kind of initial takeaways on those questions?
Well, Nick used the word mesh again, which brought me way back to 2 seasons ago when Kellen Moore was hired, and that was kind of the theme of Nick Sirianni's very early discussions of what the Eagles offense was going to look like. It was going to be a meshing between the offense that Kellen Moore was bringing, and then it was going to also involve some of the things that the Eagles offense has done well. And then ultimately, I think when you go back and look at what the Eagles offense looked like, and then going back and looking at what some of the other things that Kellen Moore has done at other stops as offensive coordinator between the Chargers and the Cowboys, you're like, okay, well, maybe this was really just like the Eagles offense and Kellen Moore was also the play caller. Whereas it didn't really look like a Kellen Moore pure offense, which I don't think we were expecting. So that's what was said at the time. And you fast forward to now, and I guess I got kind of a similar sort of vibe, but at the same time, like you think back to this past season, like what did the Eagles offense do well? We're going to take things that the Eagles offense did well. Like I still, like, the Eagles didn't end the season really having much to hang their hat on in terms of an identity. So that's not to say that the Eagles offense didn't do anything well, but it certainly didn't. I feel like is less to incorporate as there was maybe, even 2023 going into 2024. But I kind of walked away still feeling like this is, we're going to see the influences, the elements of the McVay-Shanahan tree. I thought it was interesting that Sirianni really spent some time speaking about the run game in particular, and also the play action pass game, but kind of talking about how, this past season, there was a lot of discussion around the league just about like pure progression in the passing game for the quarterback. Nick spoke a little bit how that exists in the run game too, and how this run game incorporates like kind of an aspect of pure progression that makes things easier for the run game. So that was interesting. But I think there was this understanding that like in order for the Eagles offense in 2026 and beyond to thrive, that there needs to be a really strong and solid foundation in the run game. And that's when the Eagles offense under Sirianni has been its best. It's when the run game has been at its best. And that has been able to unlock things for the Eagles in other areas of the offense. So I saw this, this understanding that the run game needs to be better and the passing game needs to be better too, but like the passing game will be built off of what they're able to accomplish in the run game.
I think the big difference between this and between Sean Mannion and Kellen Moore is that there was a little more carryover, there were more similarities between what Nick's scheme and Kellen's that you could translate it. This is going to be very different. Uh, this is a much different scheme, especially on first and second down. Nick talked a little bit about that and how, and talking to a lot of the candidates that, yeah, okay. In the third down world, a lot of teams do the same stuff. But on first and second down, because of how they run the ball, which is going to be on the surface to the untrained eye, probably not going to look that different, but to the trained eye, very different because the run blocking schemes are different. We'll see how far they go in that direction, but the run blocking schemes are very different. Obviously what they do in terms of motion and pre-snap, how they utilize their players, but also where they run the ball, a lot of outside zone stuff. They're going to do a lot of inside zone stuff still. And some of that will be the carryover and the meshing, I guess, that Nick Sirianni talked about. But to do the whole play action thing, you have to marry the run with the pass. And to me, it's just when you're going in this direction, you have to kind of go almost full bore. And I think that's what's going to happen here. So yeah. So that's to me like my biggest takeaway from that. Obviously the big question is like how's this going to fit with Jalen Hurts and what he does? And it was before I felt like because Jalen does things a certain way, we can't go all the way in the drop back world with what Kellen Moore has always done. And here they're going to have those elements, but like I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think also what this allows for, you're not going to see a lot of like I don't know if he doesn't want to run as much. I've heard as much. I've reported as much that he was not running as much because it was something that he was concerned about in terms of his health, and the Eagles were on board with that. But if he wants to become more of a pocket passer, this is probably could help him in that regard because it's the run game, historically going all the way back to when Shanahan and Alex Gibbs, Mike Shanahan, when he was with the Broncos, and Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach, they came up with this run scheme so that they wouldn't have to expend a significant amount of capital on the running back position. And they were able to get like kind of unnamed guys, Terrell Davis being the most famous of them because he was drafted in the 5th round, but, obviously became a Hall of Fame running back. But they were able to kind of get a lot of production out of guys that didn't have to expend a lot of draft capital. And it offset that John Elway, wasn't as much of a proficient passer as he got more advanced in age, and they won 2 Super Bowls with it. But, so it's not a quote unquote quarterback scheme. And, Kyle Shanahan hasn't really had a great quarterback there. He's had good quarterbacks. He hasn't had great quarterbacks. And I think that's how we can kind of describe Jalen Hurts, a really good quarterback, not a great quarterback, not the type of quarterback that you're going to devise your scheme around. So when we asked, Nick Sirianni about like how Jalen factored into this, he's like, well, he's shown before that he can do, new things. And I think there's some truth to that. He's gotten better at the play action stuff. He's gotten better at the under center stuff. He has adapted to all these changes in terms of the play caller, in terms of the scheme, but not so much the scheme. Like it's really, as I've said before, it's kind of been the Jalen Hurts scheme, and it's not going to be the Jalen Hurts scheme in my mind. It's going to be the Shanahan McVay scheme. There will be carryover, and I think that there's a lot of concern about like how much influence will Nick Sirianni have over this. I think he's made very clear, and he did again, that he wants to be the head football coach. I don't think he's going to give like Sean Mannion, an inexperienced play caller and offensive coordinator, complete autonomy over the offense, but I think he's going to give him a lot of leeway in terms of running things as he wants to run them. And Nick will kind of oversee it and help out, and maybe eventually he'll have to step in like he did with Kevin Patul a year ago. But, I had the same takeaway with you. This is about the run game. And I know a lot of people on the outside thought that, okay, they got to get the pass game better. But the way they look at things is that if we can't run the ball, we can't pass the ball. And a lot of that has to do with Hurts. And this isn't a knock on him as a quarterback, but he does have some deficiencies in terms of when it comes to throwing the ball and how he reads the field and whether they when they do drop him back in those scenarios. And when as you mentioned, when they've been successful, it's been the run game that's been dominant. So that's where they're going in that direction.